What's going on, people? Welcome to the 6th episode of the Snippet Podcast. My name is James, and I'm joined once more by my co-host, Mr. Rafi. Rafi, how you doing?
Good, bro. What are you telling me? Everything good?
All good. Obviously, a little break for the two of us.
Yeah, man.
Been 2 weeks, but feeling refreshed now. So
Rejuvenation.
that's it, man. Let's get back into it. And So what are we talking about in this episode? We are talking about university and is it worth it?
Is it worth it, people?
So the way we're going to do this is, like we have done with similar podcasts, is that I'm going to give my viewpoint and Rafi's going to chime in, maybe challenge me, ask me questions or whatever, and then Rafi's going to give his opinion and vice versa. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, Raf, shall we?
Crack. Let's go.
Let's do it. So, is university worth it? For me, the short answer is yes. However, you have to go.
Why is it worth it?
I'll tell you why. So it is worth it if you're choosing a course which you like and one which is going to carry on with you after university. So before I get more into why I think it is worth it, I'll give a little bit of a background of what I've done at university. So I went to University of Portsmouth. I think I've mentioned it before on another podcast. I went there for 3 years and I studied web technologies, which is now called software engineering because they couldn't actually get enough people to go on that course the following year when I left. And I also did a placement year in Bournemouth, which is between the second and final year. And I did that in front-end web development, which is similar to what I was studying. So yeah, that's a little bit of a background. So why do I think it's worth it? Well, first and foremost, you're in a field which you like. I hope, anyway. This kind of goes back to the point of I hope you're doing a course which you actually like. And when you're in a course with people around you who are like-minded people and like-minded lecturers who you can aspire to be or learn off of, then it's good.
Of course, bro.
And, you potentially have a good career.
Probably a bit early for me to ask this because we're going to go through the
notes
and everything. But did you enjoy uni?
I bloody did, yeah.
I mean, I had a good time when we came to your uni. But
yeah, man, it was good. Really good. There were obviously so many occasions where life challenges you like crazy, but that's all part of the game of university, and that's what makes it so good, and how much you grow from it.
Yeah, of course.
Which is what I'm going to get into throughout my reasons of why I think it is good. So yeah, like I said before, you're exposed to so many personalities, and that's also people that you're not studying with as well. So in my instance, where I moved out to university, I lived in halls and also lived with other people in houses in following years. You're surrounded by a lot of people who are obviously doing the same thing, and it's all completely unknown to everyone. You're all like kind of in the same boat, and
gotta learn a bit about each other.
Exactly.
And all that,
and most of the people are like-minded. Obviously, you get the people that are just there to piss about and whatnot. And I guess that's another point we'll continue on later, and that's what some people actually do. But yeah, that's another reason is you have like-minded people, and one of the main ones as well, outside of actually studying and getting a degree, is that you learn over time that you don't need to impress anyone. Like during my first year of university, you're obviously surrounded by so many people who are just going out and partying and knowing each other and socialising and
it's not worrying about status or anything. It's just going there, do your thing.
It kind of was a status thing though, like with a lot of people. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
that's what you're saying.
Like some people, they don't really give a crap. They just go and do their thing, and then obviously, go for their studies. Half the time they lock themselves in the room. But then, like you said, you've got people that are actually trying to get out. Like, oh yeah, I'm this guy. You get one of them Donnies that comes in like that. Swagged out and everything.
Yeah, there's a few of those actually. Needless to say, they didn't last. But
fire.
Yeah, so what was one of the main things I learned was that because during first year, you spend a lot of your time like trying to impress people and trying to fit in the right groups. Like I was speaking on the podcast about fear, where I was like thinking, oh, I need to have sex with people to bloody impress people or whatever. You think those kind of thoughts at the beginning, and then you realise as you progress through university, you're like, no, like this is who I am. Like, I'm a freaking cool person. If you don't like
just
it,
do
then
you, innit? Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's such a good thing, is that you learn so much more about who you are, and you're confident about it.
Definitely.
And again, if you move away from your house, you learn how to. I don't know. You might argue that if people stay at home when they're studying, do they still kind of get better with how to budget and cooking and things like that?
It depends really, because like for me, I've learned how to like make sure that I'm in a budget for everything. I've learned how to cook from young and clean from young and wash from young and stuff like that.
You were one of the responsible ones.
One of the responsible ones. As an only child, I'm one of the responsible ones. Yeah, but like at the same time, it's about sometimes like you get them families that are just so. They like to make sure that they cushion their child just in case if something does go wrong, they're there for them. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, there was a couple months where my parents would fly out, and during university time, I'll be living on my own.
Yeah.
And like staying at home and doing everything by myself, and that was a good thing because I learned from back then on how to do it. So I was able to like be cushy with like looking after myself and everything. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, it depends as well because personally, for me, it's not that I didn't want to move out into halls. It's just the fact that I was just cool at home. I was alright. I was just comfortable at home. I had everything there. I had my bed, my clothes, everything like that. You know, local to the station. I could just get the bus straight to uni. And even if I wanted to move out, Middlesex didn't let me. But yeah, thanks for that one. But yeah. But
as we record in Middlesex uni.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll shout you lot out later. But I think it just depends on family preference as well, because some people are like, oh yeah, maybe this is a good kick up your ass. You know what? Time for you to move out, see what the real world's like, see how you cope. When you're calling me 3 o'clock in the morning drunk, then we'll see what happens. Others, they're just cool, man. They give you a little cushion. They're alright. Obviously, they don't try and take the piss. Some of them probably do.
Yeah.
A couple shots there. But at the same time, it depends. It really does depend. Like,
and what you said there, like the people that do only kick up the bum, I guess that was kind of me because when I was 17, 18, you think you know everything until you get to uni, and then
Big world.
my cooking was awful. I couldn't season for crap. What else? Bloody hell! Like I didn't know how to do laundry properly. So many things, man.
Yeah,
like going to uni really helped me with that sort of stuff. But the question that we're asking, is it worth it? Does that actually relate with it? Because you can do all of these things, I guess, without having to go to uni, as long as you have some kind of self-discipline in that.
I think it probably depends on your path. Like, for example, if you haven't learned from, let's say, like teenage age or something like that, then going to uni and then picking it up like that probably be the best time sooner rather than later. However, if you've been brought up and you've done it from young like that, or like if you've lived alone before and then you want to just jump into it straight away on your own, then it's different, I guess. Like, that's probably from my aspect, because it was, for me, I was in a different category, so I knew how to do them things before coming to uni. But at the same time, it was more of a bit of a challenge when I was alone, doing it all by myself, because you got to come back from uni, like second year, oh bruv, what a stress, man. Getting ready for final year, dissertation, getting everything, exams. Then you come home, bearing in mind you got to come home late, get in, got to clean up, do all the washing, make the food. Then you got to clean up all of the dirty washing after that. Time you're done is 10 o'clock. You want to try and chill out before you get into bed. You're knackered, bro. You're knackered. You can relate to that. Like,
but I think, like, even when you're at home and when you're studying then, so what you mentioned there, maybe before you started university, you wouldn't stress about those things.
Nah, you're right. I wouldn't really stress.
And you wouldn't really put maybe so much effort into doing washing and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right, because there's people in the house. There's just people in the house. Like, my parents would be at home, you know. I'll come home and, like, I'll change and the dinner will be on the table. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have to actually worry about, like, getting out of my room to go down, open the fridge door and think, oh, what am I going to cook today? Oh, I don't need to worry because mum's already made it, for example. Like one of them ones. But yeah, it is like that. It is like that.
So I think to conclude on these points then, is that whether or not you're living at home, going to university gives you that sense of responsibility of, I need to do my work, I need to be clean and hygienic and whatever. So, cool. Also, going to university allows you to go on a placement year, which I said before is what I done, and was arguably one of the most important and one of the best years of my life, actually, going to Bournemouth. And I'll kind of get into that again shortly. Another big one is partying.
Oh yeah, come on, man.
Now, do you know what? I feel like it would have been good to have a guest on who didn't go to uni to disagree with this sort of stuff, but the partying was so freaking good, man. In first year especially, it was just nuts.
Freshers and all of that. And I remember
Freshers
when we came
week
up to
and all
yours.
that. Oh, yeah, yeah.
What was it? The second year or third year? The second year. It was definitely second year because I remember you were in Bournemouth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mad.
Yeah, it's so fun, man.
Yeah,
And you're
it's
meeting
good.
loads of new people.
Yeah.
You're having fun with girls and whatnot, and it's a great laugh.
Yeah, man.
But again, someone who's like very strict with I want to do an apprenticeship might turn around and be like, oh, you can still do that stuff on a night out.
Yeah, but it's people could argue say it's not the same because you're in this university like
You're not going out on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, exactly. Or on a Monday, like you're not
Yeah.
in this university profile where you have to think about I've just finished my lectures, I'm going on the session tonight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas for an apprenticeship, finished my work, fancy going for a pint.
Yeah.
Bit different, but
That's another thing. You learn how to budget your nights out.
Oh, fuck.
You learn how to.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You learn how to have a good night on £10.
Yeah. Bro, you can get some good deals, with that, Like I
What,
remember,
£10?
like
Yeah.
you could go to like round the corner to the Clad, get a nice couple of drinks in there for like what was it, £15, and you keep going on.
Yeah.
It's nice. Well, we've been to the Clad anyway. So,
On a normal weekend, it's quite expensive though. Anyway.
Give us promo.
Another one, which I think is a big factor into why university is worth it, is the freedom. The freedom.
yes.
For me, coming from quite a big family as well, I'm in a family of 6, and we all lived in the same place at the time, and I shared a room with my brother.
Yeah.
So getting away, and just again going back to the point I mentioned earlier of being able to do everything myself.
Yeah. Your own
And
space, your own
if
time.
I'm going out, I don't have like questions of
What time you're home?
and all this
Where
sort
you
of
at?
stuff. I
Coming
get
home for
it.
dinner,
I get it. Obviously, it's parents worrying and bloody they have to ask
That's
those
calm
questions.
though, innit? But at the same time, obviously, you just want to be like, you know what, big man now, doing my thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You learn to become more comfortable with yourself. I
Yeah,
guess.
of course.
And again, this is if you're moving out. I don't know. Does that point apply with you as well, or I mean, you still with the family?
Well,
at the time?
for me, like, it's a bit different because, like, I'm an only child, innit? So, like, only kid in the family. They'll be like, oh, what time are you coming home? I'll be like, I'm not going to come home at this time. I'll be home later on it, and I'll let you know. And then I'll just be chilling here doing work or chilling with the friends and that, and then just go back. It's not like a massive thing like, oh, you got to come home. Oh, you've got uni tomorrow, all of that. Because they know that I'm responsible. Well, I am. Hopefully. And they know that
Sure.
I think so. And they know that obviously that as long as my priorities are in check, because I'm the one doing the work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm the one that's sent here to pay the 9 bags and do the work, and I want here to mess around as well. Like, I could be a clown when I want to, but that's about it, really.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can relate to
Yeah,
that.
man. Yeah, absolutely. And lastly, it allows you to get into a graduate role, which is what I'm in now.
Very
So
important.
if I didn't go to university, I wouldn't have had this job if I didn't get a 2-1 in my degree. And I'm on a good salary. What I'm learning is very good. And this is the thing, when you go onto these graduate roles, there's not a massive amount of pressure put on you straight away because the emphasis is on you learning and
Exactly,
kickstarting your
yeah,
career,
yeah.
but also you're getting involved with client projects.
You're learning along the way. get
Exactly,
involved in-
and it kind of eases you in slowly into becoming more responsible with your day to
It's like
day.
they're pushing you through the door, and then once the door's closed, boom, choose your space in the group and do it. And like, you get on with it.
So the graduate roles are really good. With regards to finding a job afterwards, it's
Don't
or
worry.
a normal job, like that isn't a graduate role.
I'll be chatting
A lot of
about that in a
people
minute.
can
Yeah.
struggle. A lot of people can struggle, and I'm sure there's a lot of facts and statistics out there which show there are a lot of people that struggle trying to get a job. But does that link to people that are taking shit courses and stuff, which is, that employers won't
See,
look at?
it's funny you brought that up because I know a couple of people that like studied law, they've done like film, they've done business, and they're all really good subjects, and they're struggling to find work because you need to have this recommendation, you need to have experience using this, you need to have 3 years of experience doing this, but the main question is how you're going to give me experience if I haven't got any. Do you know what I mean? Like what, for example? But depending on the course, like it does vary because I know people that studied my course, they got a job straight away like that. As soon as we graduated, they were going straight into a job.
And what was your course for the viewers?
Oh yes, forgot to mention.
I mean, I suppose we'll get into it.
We'll jump onto it in a bit. But
we'll jump into
But like,
all
and
the
then
stuff,
obviously
your
you've got
opinion,
like, I'll give me as an example. I didn't find work, well, like permanent work, until a year later. I was contracting and I was doing other jobs and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit. it's dependent. I think
You have to be quite lucky, I think.
yeah,
as well,
I
don't you?
think it's a bit of luck, or maybe just about 75% luck, because I know some people. I'll put it out there. I know some people that didn't work for their grade and they got a job straight away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like I busted a gut and I still haven't got like this full straight on job. But I'll get onto that in a bit later when we talk about my experience at university.
Yeah, cool, man. I mean, just to sum that up, then, so I think it's worth going to uni because of the placement year that you get or could get. You're exposed to loads of different personalities, and within that, you start finding yourself a bit more, and you start feeling comfortable with who you like to hang around with. Excuse me. You learn a lot more about your desired field that you want to go into. You learn over time that you don't need to impress anyone so much. If you moved away and you're someone like me who was not totally irresponsible, but like didn't learn a lot of these things, cooking well and washing regularly and all of these things, then get yourself to uni. It'll bloody put you in gear. Obviously the partying was great, socialising, everything was just so fun, as long as you can balance it with working. The freedom was brilliant, and the entry into graduate roles, which was one of the most important ones, because I'm now on a salary because of university, so happy days. And just before we move on to yours, actually, I'll speak a little bit about the placement year, because I mentioned before about why it was such an important year for me. Firstly, well, the location, I suppose it doesn't really intertwine with the question itself, but Bournemouth was
it still counts, you're in a good location to do.
I guess so. Yeah, you. I guess the choice of uni, you want to have a good location, I suppose. So yeah, I went to Bournemouth, which was amazing. Still staying by the sea because I was already in Portsmouth. Bournemouth was just fantastic. I gained such good experience because prior to going into this job, I had no office experience whatsoever. Everything was so foreign to me, and I worked with loads of senior developers, designers, like stakeholders and project managers and all of these sorts of things. I was crap at the start, but then I got better as time went on, and that was why placement was so good.
Progression,
And going into my graduate role now, I was a bit more comfortable because I'd experienced the placement year, and it wasn't as nerve-wracking for me as maybe it was for other people that didn't do a placement year. And also another thing was that going back to my final year of university wasn't as daunting because I'd done this experience, and it was kind of I just felt more comfortable, I met some really cool people on placement, one of which who I speak to pretty much every day is like a really close mate of mine. And also when I was in a relationship at the time, I learnt more about having a long distance relationship because at the time, because I met my girlfriend at uni, and when I went on placement we were then separated for a bit, and I learnt a bit more about how to manage that, and managing friendships more. And that's about it really. For all of those combined, the placement year was so incredibly valuable. I'm not saying that the course itself wasn't good, because it was. It's just having that experience was so key. So key.
That's the main thing, industrial experience, literally. But I'll jump onto my bit in a minute about how I didn't do the placement year, but still, we'll jump onto that.
Cool. Well, that's me, man. Have I got anything to say about why I might not think it's a good idea to go to uni? Yeah, well, that was my answer, I guess, was I do think it's worth it, as long as you pick the right course. I don't really think you should go if you're studying, I don't know, what's the course off the top of my head? Just like philosophy or something, I don't know, or psychology. I mean, as long as you have an idea of where you're going to be after you do that degree, rough idea.
If you found the job that you want and you're pushing towards that, then okay, cool. But if you're just doing it and then later on thinking, what am I going to do?
You're twiddling your thumbs kind of thing. I don't know.
Personally, I could never do that. No. I had everything on pen and paper. I knew what I wanted to do. That's why I studied my course. And still, it didn't even go my way. But thankfully, I managed to.
Oh, cool! It did. You got a job now.
Yeah, I got a job, but it's not exactly in the field that I want it to be. I'll tell you what. Let me jump on my thing. And we'll explain it. We'll explain it. Cool.
All right. Sweet.
All right. So, I went to Middlesex University for 3 years, and I studied computer forensics. Fantastic course. I loved every bit of it, and with some background knowledge already, a little bit on forensics, and of course coming from a computing background, it was like two pieces of the cake combined together in my plate. I went to university because I wanted to get a career in digital forensics, and like I mentioned, the degree had everything I wanted. All of the programming side to it, how to analyze data forensically, even going to a crime scene, obtaining digital and physical evidence, learning how to obtain the evidence. Let's say, for example, there's a USB on the table, how to get every single piece of evidence off that USB to determine whether or not if someone's going to be admissible in court or not.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good thing for me.
Yeah. I want to ask questions about that, but I reckon it's just going to go way off the topic, so we'll leave it.
I'll jump on this and then we can do it, yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So, did I enjoy it? Was it worth it? For me, yes, because I learned a lot about the desired field.
Yeah.
However, the one exception is, I feel like now that whilst I studied computer forensics, and even though that is IT based, and now that I've pushed into more of a IT technical role rather than a forensic role, I feel like maybe I could have done maybe some more background research on the technical side myself back then, but at the same time I couldn't really contradict it because
of forensics or
no, not forensics, of the technical side that I'm doing now, like
okay,
for example analytical stuff.
Yeah.
Because now I didn't think about it back then because I didn't know that my career path was going to be pushed left instead of right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it can happen. I mean,
yeah,
you're 18, 19 when you go to uni.
Yeah,
for a lot of
exactly.
people,
Yeah, like
90% of people don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah, I know. Like it's, what? Sometimes you could just get an idea in one day, and then before you know it, you'll be bagging in the job. But good thing about uni as well was obviously I gained an understanding of what qualities are shown in the criteria and how they're set out in the workplace. So, for example, if I was to do a forensic role and they want you to use a specific program to take a physical image of this computer, for example, I know how to use the drives now. I know how to make sure I understand what settings to enable, what data I'm looking for. I can select whatever data I want. I could just look for photos if I want to, or I could look for MP3 files, for example, like that. So I learned along the way, and they pushed. The one thing I really liked about my course is that they pushed us into real life situations. So we actually had to do like 2 proper investigations, for example, on an actual case that happened, many years ago and stuff. And they used like genetic data sets as well. No, like fake shit or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? But,
wait, so is this, do you have to go out into real?
Oh no, not like go out, because it's digital forensics. They distributed the information to us electronically, and we had to deal with like as it would be as a real life scenario, because it was from a real life scenario. That was a really good thing that I enjoyed the most.
Cool.
Like you said as well, you build up independence. Even though I lived at home, I still learned how to, cook independently, wash independently, clean the house independently, go shopping, budget my money independently as well. Even though obviously I had.
I'm still horrible at that, by the way, even though I've been to.
Bro, you know what? Sometimes I get off days as well. More time I made a meal deal for £5, I can get it for £3 from Tesco's. But like, it was a good thing because obviously I saw the side from when my parents would be at home and then when my parents wouldn't be at home. Yeah. So I was able to like merge them both together and do my thing when I had to. One thing I really loved about going to this uni in particular is the fact that I got to work at the university. So even though I didn't jump straight into a full-time role, I was doing some part-time work at the uni. I was an ambassador. I used to run the computing faculty for the whole of the uni in the 3rd year. I was also a student ambassador, so I worked on uni event days like open days, open evenings, career fairs and all that stuff. I later on then pushed into the marketing department, done some work for them, and then the admissions department. So I've kind of seen like different aspects of the university. I've seen like how they deal with financial records, like student records, and then like how they push the university out onto social media to get more people to come and enroll and stuff. And then now, obviously, I'm working in technical support, IT technical support, which is amazing because I've learned how to, encrypt Apple machines, Windows machines, how to build them with drives, like put on the specific software, whole load of architecture. Even though I learned about the architecture in 1st year of uni, but it's good that I managed to implement the knowledge I learned into this role now, and thankfully this has allowed me to get the new job that I'm going to be starting soon as well. So
that's good then. I mean, you were saying before like what you were doing wasn't really relevant to what you're doing now, but it kind of is though. What you're saying.
It's relevant in one way because I think it's different because for me, I had my head straight on joining as a digital forensic officer, and then I went for I went for an interview. I passed it, but they couldn't give me a start date because I was I was on a waiting list, probably because I was inexperienced.
Yeah.
So then I was doing other roles. I started being an IT administrator and a digital editor, and then I jumped into technical support. I've done admissions, stuff like that, and that kind of branched me away from forensics. Don't get me wrong, if I was to like maybe work in technical support for about, let's say, 5 years, and then if a forensic role came up, I'll probably try to see if I can go for it. But my main ambition was the fact that, it's going to kind of relate on to the next topic that I'll probably bring up now. It's the fact that when I was going for interviews, I would always get to the last stage, but then somehow not manage to get the yes, we want you. I had bad experiences with agencies. I had people that didn't even get back to me. There was a forensic company that I applied for ages ago. They got me through to the second stage interview. They never got back to me. I called them up. Vacancy's gone. Load of shit. Whatever happened there. So yeah, those are my experiences. That's why I feel like maybe a placement would have been a good thing for me. And this is what I was going to mention now. I wanted to originally go on the placement year. Yeah. However, unfortunately, I was unable to because there were a few complications going on at the university, restructure going on, staff members unavailable to assist. I can't just use a page on Word with loads of websites and just go on there and I'll click on this one and apply for it. I need some support and advice. And thankfully, like the employability center that we have here now it's really, really good. Like, I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but they helped me out really well, and they've helped out loads of students. Another good thing about obviously going to uni as well, despite the placements, is internships. You can actually work at the university, do little roles like that, like I've done. I mentioned already how I didn't go on a placement year.
Can I just going back to what you said a little bit earlier? That was quite interesting. Was when you were applying for loads of places, and it was difficult to get a job, and that's why maybe a lot of people don't want to go to university because of that. My advice for that is, because I went through exactly the same, Raf. Persistence, man. Persistence is key. Literally, during my second year, I actually sacrificed a bit of my work because I was so determined on getting this placement. I was like, I have to get this. I really want to get it. But the amount of no's I got, I can't even tell you. It was so many, and I was slowly giving up hope. But I was like,
this is like what I was saying when I went for this digital role ages ago. The very first one I went to, I sacrificed about I was probably going to say maybe a month before finishing off an exam. Like, I was like, I need to jump into this role straight away. I've got background on it, and I've worked with the organisation before.
The lights have gone off again. We've had this on a previous Codfast.
Oh, that's a new blooper for that one. Make sure you don't forget that you said that, yeah? Make sure you don't forget that. You said 10 to 9. What was it?
Codfast. That's why you're fasting from eating cod, Raf.
Okay, move like Call of Duty.
Right. Do you want to grab the lights?
Yes, let me grab that quick. We'll do a little cut.
No way.
Man stood up and it came on, Fair enough. But what were we saying? So the nose. That's bare booky, innit?
Oh my god, my whole state of mind has just gone elsewhere. Sorry, right, go on, carry on.
Bro. So basically about opportunities. I sacrificed a month's worth of work, maybe a little bit more, 5 weeks I would say, just to get this job. And I was starting to get my hopes up, man. You know? This guy's talking about Codfast, You see what this guy does to me? He comes up with the most random shit. Oh my days.
Literally, I was looking at you, I'm like, I know you're going to absolutely rinse me off this podcast.
Don't worry, wait till the journey home, bro. We're going to have a good one.
Codfast.
Oh my days.
I know, if this podcast goes haywire now. Right, okay, right.
It's going to be a new meme.
Are you ready?
I'm just bait.
You ready? Right, let's start again, okay? What you were saying there, say it again. Right.
So, JB's calmed down a little bit now.
Right, I'm good,
it's fresh.
Good.
So,
Let me take a sip.
Obviously,
you can continue talking, that's fine. So
I sacrificed my flipping work for this job role. Passed the technical test, passed the interview stage, application stage, technical test and interview. And then you're waiting, graduation. You're like, oh, I felt really good about it. I'm telling my family, I feel really good about it.
Yeah.
And I've had a background, I've worked with the organisation before. I've got a degree that relates to that role. And then to find out that, oh, sorry, you've passed. I'm like, oh, I'm getting gassed. I'm haps, man.
Yeah.
Read the second line. However, we put you on a select list. And I was like, oh, come on, man. And I would nag them. Well, all right, not nag them, but I would email them saying, probably like every 4 months, because they put me on the waiting list for about a year. As the role come up, Role didn't come up. Applied for different roles within the same organisation.
Yeah.
Same process. And I'm thinking, is it because I'm inexperienced? But I highly doubt that, because the second time I applied for it, I had about a year's worth of experience.
Yeah.
So obviously some people want more, but some experience is better than nothing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
A year is a long time as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So this is why I kind of branched out a bit from forensics, because I felt like, you know what, as much as I love the subject, I'm just getting this. I don't think it's for me now, because I'm learning so much more about IT. Even though everything is
that's natural. It can change, though, can't it? It can change.
Like technical support.
Yeah.
I'm loving that. Like, you know, I love to help people as well, and you know, it's I enjoy it. And in fact, I've managed to flipping bag a job with probably one of the biggest things like in the UK. Like you're doing it big as well now. Like, and I'm really grateful that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Role. Yeah, I mean, like for people listening, yes, it's difficult. It's quite subjective because, like, after listening to us struggle with trying to get a placement,
for real, man.
You might think that it might not be a good idea to go to university, but again, it's one of those things which it's your choice at the end of the day.
But this is a key example, though.
Speaking of just personal experience, isn't it?
It shows that, you know, like sometimes you don't have to do a placement to maybe get the job that you want. Mm-hmm. Sometimes working, even like, I'll give a top tip for anyone. Yeah, if you can, if you have the opportunity to work at university. I'm not forcing you to, but try and give it a go, because it's a good experience working in a higher education institution. If you put that down, like, you know, it's good. And like personally, for me, it helped me a lot. If I wasn't working at the uni now doing this role, I'll probably be twiddling thumbs, honestly.
Do you reckon you wouldn't have got your job that you've got now?
I wouldn't have. I'll probably, you know what? I'll probably be still going for forensics, bro, and I'll probably be still going in that loop. But I had other roles that were available to me, but it wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. I would rather just focus still more on my career, and it paid out all right in the end.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Good.
Yeah, so that's my thing.
That's you done, is it?
That's me done.
Sweet. I mean, one thing we haven't spoke about, I was just thinking about this whilst we were talking as well, was the price of uni. So it's $9,000 a year, right? Like 9,250.
Yeah, it's gone up now.
Do you think, Raf, your course content was worth that amount of money?
Yes and no. The reason I say yes is because I learnt the fundamental skills that allowed me to push forward for the interviews that I wanted to go for. Yeah. And I've still maintained that knowledge in my head. No, because the level of stuff that was taught was just, in my opinion, I don't think it was high enough. Like, for example, like now, like this is computer forensics that I studied. Now they've changed the degree for the new students and they've called it digital forensics and cybersecurity. So they're implementing both cybersecurity and digital forensics into one, whereas for us it would just be all about computer forensics. Yeah. So like people are able to learn now about cybersecurity, and then if they want to go into that job avenue, they can go there, or if they want to do digital forensics, they can go that way. And
so it just supplies more options there.
Yeah, it pissed me off when I found out about that.
So do you think it would have been worth it more now than what it used to be?
100%, yeah. I wouldn't mind paying that extra $250, bro. Because because I could have gone for more cybersecurity roles instead of having to focus on computer forensics. I could have obviously gone for it anyway, but I wouldn't have that much luck because it's all forensic orientated. It's not more about cybersecurity. Like I know encryption and like, you know, networking. I've done my dissertation on network forensics. I could have jumped into that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what about you?
For me, I say yes. The reason I have to say yes is because I went to uni and I made the choice of going to uni.
Yeah, I guess I can say the same as well.
This is a pet peeve of me now, as when I have conversations with people that go to uni and they blabber on so much about how much they hate the cost. To be fair, I probably did do it in uni as well. But looking back at it now,
is a lot, man. Like I remember,
it is a lot.
In
some
countries, it's much cheaper.
It is, yeah.
But
the way I see it is like this is something I'm learning over time. Just with anything in life, is just to stop playing the victim mentality. Like if you choose to do something,
stick with it.
You're doing it, and you're accepting the responsibility that you're paying that amount of money per year.
That's something I've learned over the years. Like,
yeah. You know. So the answer for me has to be yes. To if I look back at the actual course content that was delivered, it was a habit where, so for example, I complete my first year, I go to my second year, we would file so many like pieces of constructive criticism about how to improve the course. And the first year, the people that were going into first year then got so many good things, and we were
that's
like,
what's happened with us.
Oh god, it would have been so good if we had that kind of experience first year. The same happened with second year as well. We went into third year, we were like, we should do this for second year, let the other people do that, and so much of it was fixed. Like
not in the year that you were graduating. That's like for us, man.
It's interesting though, because I sometimes think maybe it was the case for people in the year above us.
Yeah, that have gone. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like I remember.
I don't know either. Yeah,
because I was part of that like student rep thing where we have to go and give it feedback on the course, and like people struggling with deadlines. We had a deadline the same day as an exam. Couldn't do that. Next year, switched it all up for the fresh ones.
Yeah.
Bro, look, they've changed the whole course now. Like, it's crazy. Like, I think the feedback from our year and the year below us, it showed that, of course, they need to just give more options if possible. Of course, they have to go through the board and the governors and everything to get it approved and everything. But you would have thought, like, back then they would have like had an image we're the lecturers
because the students already had it in mind to maybe do something cool like that. Yeah,
it's mad.
Yeah, man. So I think I mean it should be a lot cheaper. It should be, like, for Christ's sake. Who was it that was in charge? The
education bunny.
The guy that was joint prime minister with Cameron, completely forgot his name. Nick Clegg, and he was like, we promised to put uni fees down, and it was the complete opposite. It went up by like freaking $6,000 or some shit. Like when my brother went to uni, when did he start? God, he's 10 years ago. Yeah. He went. His first year started 10 years ago. It was $3,000 a year. That's mad. But then, like, how did they manage to go up $6,000 per year?
Tripled
crazy.
It. That's mad.
It's crazy. Mad. But having said all of this. Yeah. For people who are thinking, it's too much money, you're hardly going to pay any of it back, to be honest. Like, I was actually calculating some of my debt today.
In 30 years, it's all written off anyway, so...
Is it 30? I thought it was 25.
No, I said 30. I think it's 40, actually. I'll check later, but regardless, just chill. Don't worry, innit? You don't need to worry.
And the thing is, like, only about £70 is coming out of my pay packet per month, which is not really that much,
it's
I
a
suppose.
certain percentage, innit?
Yeah. It kind of is big, innit? But in the grand scheme of how much you've paid for uni... and how much debt you're in, you're not paying that much back in the grand scheme of things. So you start worrying about more things in life than £70.
I remember,
you
know who messaged me the other day? Tom. He was talking about. He's like, I got to pay the fees back. And he was talking about interest rates and everything. And I was like, obviously they're taking a certain amount, like you were saying, like what is it, like £70 a month or something like that. Depending on your salary, £9 is the minimum, I think, for a starting salary if that's 25 or over.
Is it £9
a month? Yeah.
Jeez, how did I get so? Oh, I don't know.
I think it's 27k for £9. I can't remember. I got the thing on my phone in it.
Right,
but yeah, man, you ain't gonna be able to pay it back unless if you jump onto that big roll and you're getting like 80 bags a year.
Yeah.
Finish it off in about a year. You're done.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Wait, for £80,000? No, I don't know if you do it in a year.
Maybe 2 years.
No, I think even still.
3 years?
Yeah, because like the more your salary goes up, the more.
Oh, you gotta be banging out tax, innit?
Your student loan doesn't really go up.
Oh no,
much.
It limits up to £35,000, and then you just pay that same amount, don't you?
I don't know the technicalities, but I mean, like, just challenging your point of like it will finish in 1 or 2 years. It would take longer than that.
It probably will.
Just because as your salary goes up,
probably letting the numbers do the talking, to be honest.
But yeah, anyway.
Who knows, man? Don't worry.
But it's not a big deal, man. With
honestly,
what you're paying back, like.
Even if it was £3,000, like when your bro was doing it, yeah. Like, I only know one of my mates, who's just managed to pay it off, and he went to uni 4 or 5 years before us, I think.
Yeah.
But he's got a really good job, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just chill.
Exactly.
Relax, bro.
It is a lot at face value, I get it, and a lot of people can get intimidated by it, but I look back at it now, and it was all so worth it. Like,
I love
you get the
uni,
job,
man.
you have a good time.
Yeah, I loved uni. You have a little kerfuffle here and there, you have your little issues with friends and that, but at the end of the day, uni was good, man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Cool. Good way to sum it up, man. Should we conclude it there? Or is there anything else you want to mention?
Some quick market research.
Oh,
so
yes,
basically,
go ahead.
I've done some market research with some of my fellow friends and colleagues.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put out blatant facts.
Yeah.
5 out of 6 people, out of the 6 people, went to university, and half of them regret going to uni because of the lack of job opportunities, because what we're facing, they studied something, they weren't able to go straight into a role.
What were they studying though? That's what
they studied different. They studied business, law, film, the 3 ones that I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they're pretty decent. Yeah, they're pretty, like, obviously they're serious subjects.
They are, yeah.
They feel like they didn't learn the skills the same way as it would be in the industry, like what I was saying. They felt like it was too basic.
Yeah.
Some of them wish they studied an apprenticeship because, like,
Some of them actually offer degrees as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what Sean is doing.
Yeah, like what Sean's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, like we've got a couple of our boys that are flipping. They've done apprenticeships and they've pushed straight into a role.
Yeah.
They felt more comfortable with that, and they didn't have to worry about the money spent on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mentioned, they're still able to get a job at the university, which was a good thing. So, like for example, everyone that I asked, well, 5 of the people that I asked, they're all actually working here at this university doing different roles.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are doing marketing, some of them are doing admin, student records, and another one of them is doing IT technical support with me.
Yeah.
And they're grateful that the university has managed to offer them contracts like 6 months and stuff to work at uni or at fixed term, because they're gaining that experience and then they're just pushing out like me, like from forensics to technical support, and they're happy that they made that decision.
By the way, just when you first started that, you said 5 out of 6 people, half of them. What do you mean?
So 5 out of 6 people went to university, 1 person didn't go.
Okay.
And then 3 out of the 6 people regret. So I would say probably.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
okay. Sorry, I thought you meant half of the 5, and I was thinking,
Oh,
what,
no,
2.5? I was like, what?
Half a body going there. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool.
All of them say that they would recommend going to university if you want to get your desired job prospect and your career ambitions.
Yeah.
You make some really good connections, you gain experience, and of course the main thing is the social aspect. But of course people have to make sure that they do their research on the course they want. Don't dip into something that you're not going to enjoy later on, because like you said, you just got to firm it otherwise, and then after 3 years you're going to be just sitting there. Do you know what I mean? But that was it really for the market research. Yeah, just a couple of facts. It was good to get them figures to see. Shout out to the people that gave me their information.
Yes, yeah, that's cool. And obviously people listening can come up with their own opinions from that. And
shout us.
Sweet, mate.
Cool.
Are you good? Is that?
I'm blessed, bro. You?
Nice, man. Yeah, all good. I think we covered a good range of topics there. How are we doing for time anyway?
41.
41. Oh, quite a long one this time. Okay, cool.
Been
Well,
good though. Different opinions and pushing it in the boundaries.
Yeah, man. Do you want to wrap up?
Cool. So, guys, as always, thank you very much for watching and listening to our podcast. We always appreciate your support. Let us know in the comments down below whether you think university is worth it. Of course, let us know if you're even going to be going to university, if you're going to go straight into a job,
Yep.
if you're studying, blah, blah, blah. We'll reply to the comments, give you the best advice we can. If you're watching this on YouTube, then drop in the comments. Or if you're, on Twitter, @Podcast Snippet is where you can find us, and all other platforms. Some big news. Shout out, Jay. We're currently in the work. We're working. We're currently in the works.
Pluralise it, lad.
We're in the works of pushing out our platform onto iTunes.
Yeah.
We validated it yesterday. We're just waiting for the green light from them now. Reminder that we are art.
Art.
You know,
Art
I'm telling it to you. we are still on Spotify and SoundCloud, so if you want to find them, in the description below. Also, send us ideas. We're down for any topic, like, even if you want to get a little bit personal, about relationships, stuff at home, we can give you our advice. And as always, remember to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and enable post notifications so you never miss a video or podcast from us.
Cool, man. Yeah, and just lastly as well, we're going to try and maybe get some more guests on for future podcasts too.
You lot like the guests, man. We've only had one, but still.
Yeah.
Shout out JC for that one.
We're going to maybe try and, you spoke about relationships. I think that's maybe something we're going to speak about in the future. We're maybe going to think about getting some guests on for that one. We also have a couple of other ideas which we'll maybe release on Twitter soon.
Yeah,
but
put a poll out or something like that.
Yeah, but that's all from me, man.
Cool, well.
Sweet. I've been James, that's Raf as usual. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Catch you later.
Peace.